of that 99% who we call the little man because they're not the big behemoths who know the inside scoop, many of them are very well read. They just read the wrong stuff. If they just expanded their, their repertoire of information gathering, they may look at the world differently. And that's the problem. No one can get out of the way of what they never see coming. And you have everyone piled into a couple areas, 7 trillion in money markets, gazillions in 7 stocks, and the rest in crypto. I mean, you want to pull the rug, drop Bank of America, watch what happens to all 3 of those markets. Bang, just like that. And you saw what happened in the video when that other Chinese AI stock came out. It fell 20% in a day. Gold never does that, never has. And what are all the big banks doing? They're buying all of these assets, these commodities, and what is the public doing? They're buying shiny things. Gold was up 30% last year. No one notices it. It's at $3,000 knocking on the door, and nobody notices it. If you would have told me that when most of my career, when gold was 400 or less, I said there's not a damn chance in hell that ever happens. People will be banging down our door to get it. Where is everybody? I don't get it. I don't. It's the largest, most significant, deepest contrarian indicator I've ever seen. And the big money is moving at a breakneck pace. But if you weren't listening to people like you and I, you'd never know it, ever. And who knows? How many people even know that gold's the only other tier 1 asset in the world? Nobody. If you don't question everything, even Trump's motivation, everything, you've learned nothing. After the last 4 years of being lied to incessantly on everything, we've been lied to. And that's not conspiratorial. It's not. It's fact. If you don't question everything, you've learned nothing. And I mean, I just think that things are not as they appear to be with this guy. He's shrewd as hell. And if he really is looking out for the country, truly, and he's not the Trojan horse, as Francis Hunt said to me he was, I found it interesting. I may not completely agree with it. Maybe some of it I did, but then the first thing to do would be to stop the outflow of all of the gold and silver and the commodities eastward. And he wants a lower dollar, right? You let the price of gold spike, what happens to the value of dollar? It falls in relation to gold. But your gold holdings go way up, your balance sheet looks better, your exports might do better. It kind of serves his purpose. And if you were being honest with Xi Jinping and Putin, look, fellas, I don't want strife anymore, but you guys are buying all the gold. We're going to let it run. And that will benefit you. And let's find a way to coexist. You keep doing your things. You want to do your BRICS things, whatever, but let's do it in a manner that allows us to coexist. I don't know. See, I get to this point. I see all of these dots, and I said, there's something bigger is happening than they're saying, way bigger. It doesn't ever go like this. And then I go blank. Like, what's next? I don't know. I don't know how it all plays out, but I'll tell you, when she says there's 50-year treasuries coming pegged to gold and stable coins off of it, and she is right there next to him, I believe it. And the only way to do that would be to get as much gold back as you can, because who knows how much of it has been leased out anyway. Get it and then revalue it. It's held in the revaluation account, and everyone's screaming revalue it. It's at 42.22 on our books. 35 on every other central bank in their revaluation account. And they're the ones that have been buying it. Wouldn't it behoove all the central banks to do that? Or what if they all knew that that was part of the script? Just like they all repatriated and front ran the purchasing in 2016, 17, and 18, and 19 before it was reclassified. What if the central banks know that this is the long game? If you look at Jan Nieuwenhuis, I think is the guy who's written about all of the accumulation of gold in the European Union as a percentage of GDP, gold to GDP on their balance sheet. And every single one has almost the exact same amount right now, like redistribution of gold. They all have the same amount. It's as if they're preparing for a gold revaluation to back a new system. What if these central bankers know the script? I mean, they are the most informed traders on the planet. It just seems like gold is the more things change, the more they stay the same, everything's coming full circle. Gold is going to be reinserted into a system that has lost all trust, to reignite that trust and find a marriage of blockchain technology, just like they said at the BRICS. Project Enbridge trading the unit, 40% gold back. 40% is what the Swiss used to have, by the way. Their currency was back 40%. 40% gold backing is the number a lot of economists say would be perfect. Well, there you go. You can just see that these things in and of themselves are significant. Put them together and it's like, man, it sure looks like something bigger is on the horizon. And what better guy to do it than Trump, who is blowing up the house. And this would be something that has to be done. First, you come in and you reunite the country under our ideals. Even some of the Democrats are blown away by the changes and the fraud and all of these things. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not talking about the idiots like Cory Booker who scream about Doge trying to get this government from being wasteful and borderline criminal. Get it in order. But I'm talking average people who are more left-leaning say, man, he's really doing something. And then you have Doge say, look, we've tried to do all we can, but without completely slashing Social Security and Medicare, we have to do something different. We all need to tighten our bootstraps. And here's what we're going to do. If we reset the system somehow, some way, what better guy to do it than the guy that is the master of reorganization and bankruptcy? When of the $200 trillion that we owe, only about $8 trillion is owed to the rest of the world. The majority is owed to the American people in all of the money markets loaded with treasuries, in all of the people chasing yield loaded with treasuries, in the insurance companies and the pension funds. And we're the ones that have been buying all the treasuries as they've been selling it, and Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security and all the pensions are all owed to us. So if you do something to reset the system, peg it to whatever you're doing, I don't know how it all plays out. That's where I go blank. But I mean, it's all owed to us. So if you're going to do it and say, look, our children that will now have a world that they can look forward to growing older in, and opportunity is coming back, we have to pay the price for the indiscretions of fiscal irresponsibility and fraud, really, to the American people and to the rest of the world. It has to be paid back somehow. And revaluing gold would be a much more benign way than outright hyperinflation or outright default. And I'm telling you, I swear in my soul, I feel this is where we're going. Look, Indonesia just became a formal member of BRICS. They have the largest in-ground deposit of nickel in the world. And their president, Widodo, has called for a OPEC-style cartel of rare earths. So yeah, I mean, he is being strategic in that respect. There's opportunity that we all found when we were young, Dunnigan, and I hope that he does. But I still think that it will come at a price, and that price is going to be a much higher inflation. You devalue the dollar in relation to gold, the dollar becomes much weaker, things become much more expensive. Saving in dollars is not a good idea. All of those things we'll have to deal with, but it's probably the least painful option. And I think it will be met with enthusiasm if people really see that he's trying to make this country great again. And I'm not trying to be trite. I mean, we're so far astray over the last 4 years. I mean, half the people I talk to every day said, if she won, I'm leaving the country. And, so, hopefully we're on the right path. I've been doing this for 35 years. And the first half of my career, with gold under $400, nobody bought gold bullion. Nobody. A gold eagle at 6% over $400 spot is 4.25. A $20 gold piece in MS-63 back then would have been $450. Nobody bought gold bullion. And that was the case until 2007. In late 2007, it became preordained that Obama was going to win, and the perception of confiscation was huge. I'll never forget, I was driving home from a boys' weekend, a golf weekend. I get a call from our trader, and he says, Andy, you won't believe what's going on in the numismatic market. Overnight, premiums have gone parabolic. And I will buy back 62 grade St. Gaudens for a $600 or $700 premium, 63s for a $700 or $800 premium, 64s for more. My business in the beginning was Swiss annuities, the very beginning. And when the Swiss didn't join the European Union, I had maybe the best call in my career. I said, they're going to peg their currency to the euro. They have to do that because they're an export nation. If they don't, no one is going to buy watches and chocolate from a country that they first have to convert to a high-priced franc. They'll destroy their economy, and indeed they did. I told everyone, Sell your Swiss annuities, come back into gold. And millions and millions and millions did. In 2001, it kind of put me on the map. And they were all buying numismatics at $400 or $500 a piece. So we get to 1,000 and just barely over the price of gold eagles. And we get to 2007, late 2008. And with $1,000 gold, I became Diamond Elite on Delta. I called every one of those clients and I said, you're letting me come to your house. And I'm going to, for your 1,062s and threes, I'm going to bring you 1,800 gold eagles. And I swapped everyone out in numismatics. There were 3 or 4 auction galleries like Stax and Heritage bidding these huge premiums. And I said, you got to switch to bullion. And it was an anomaly, like all the anomalies that I talk about. All the successful trades I've ever had center around identification and exploitation of anomalies in price. And it was the best call I ever made. These people made out way better than they ever would have. What I see right now, I've never seen in 35 years. I am sitting on thousands of ounces, thousands of numismatic coins in stock, 10s and 20s, part of a large buyback I did. And as an example, people could trade gold eagles right now, straight up for 63 St. Gaudens at no cost, 1 for 1. When I tell you I've never seen anything remotely close to that in 35 years, never. Coins like this right here, you can see that. I don't know if it's too much of a glare, but the $20 gold piece, I've never seen it in ever. And you've never really heard me talking about certified numismatic coins on this show or any. We've talked about circulated coins before, and because it's always been about value in a world that had gone mad and haywire. And it's not about collectability, it's about ounces of gold.